I'll get an intro eventually. I'm sure I will. But for now, we just have your basic StreamYard countdown to welcome you into the first
Can I offer you a
episode
suggestion?
of Let's Talk About It. Yeah, yeah.
So whatever your topic is, like for instance tonight, you should have been like most surprising and disappointing movies. Let's talk about it, and then just change it every week or every day.
Hmm, I like that. So
Best of George Clooney. Let's talk about it.
that's why I have you on the first episode.
Why does Sean Hayes not work more? Let's talk about
Here, let's redo it.
it. Okay.
Most surprising and disappointing movies of 2023. Talk about it.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one. I didn't like. I paused. I waited. Let's one more time. Most
Most
surprising
surprising and
20 movies of
just you.
2023. Let's talk about it.
I think
And
we went a
then,
little high on that one. I don't know. You
yeah,
went a little too high
let's
for me.
talk about it.
Come on.
Um,
Movies.
this is going to be the entire episode now. It's just us troubleshooting the intro, and we won't.
Yeah, one more time.
actually
One
talk
more
about
time.
movies.
One more time.
One more time. I want to hear you do it this time.
Oh, most surprising, disappointing movies, 2023. Christopher Walken. Let's talk about it.
Was Christopher Walken in a movie this year
Uh,
or last year? I guess. I can't. I'm
get
sure.
it?
I
'Cause
feel like he was. I feel like maybe he was in one. If he was, I didn't see it. But
I know who's in that Percy movie that was like a couple years ago.
right.
Actually, that was like 3 years ago. No.
Hmm. Well, you, because I'm sure you fact check everything. It's just who you are.
No, he was in The Severance was last year, I guess, too, and we will be seeing him in the upcoming Dune Part 2. That's why. That's why I think maybe we thought
That's probably why. Yeah,
we
I
both
saw
saw
him
his
in a
face in Dune.
trailer. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, he has not graced the big screen since 2020, where he had 3 releases, and The War with Grandpa with De Niro, Percy, the movie I was talking about, where it's like he's trying to get his beans back. I think Zach Braff's lawyer, and Wild Mountain Thyme.
I've heard of one of those movies.
I feel like Percy got. I feel like Percy got released a year later, but it's fine.
Mm.
Yeah, Percy was a nice film. I think you'd like Percy.
Well,
Percy is.
continue. Hello. But yeah, no, we are here to talk some movies, specifically those movies that surprised and or disappointed us. I guess it would be an or. I guess you could be a disappointment could be a bad surprise.
I guess they could fit both. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised by how shitty that was.
But before we get into that, how do you feel 2023 was just as a whole for movies?
First of all, whole. But no, I think every year is a good year. Even the pandemic year, we still got some squeaky good releases. So no, I think there's a lot of really fun stuff. There was a lot of kind of mediocre stuff this year as well, and there's always some pretty bad stuff as well. But no, I think we had a good year. I had a good time at the cinema, I had a good time at home, and hopefully 2024 brings some more of that goodness.
Yeah, I made a goal to watch at least 100, and I did not
halfway there.
reach that goal. I got just a little over halfway. Yeah, so, but I mean,
I had the same goal and I got more than there. I got to 130 something.
But it was like of those 57, I would say 7 of those were movies that I didn't like. So,
so when I do my top 10 worst on my channel, join me halfway through.
I'll join you halfway through. I'll do a top 5. You'll do with 2 honorable mentions. While you just sit there and talk about how bad these movies are. It's funny though, because I'm pretty sure the ones that are in my bottom 7 we would agree on.
Maybe I saw so many bad movies that your movies might actually be higher.
That's true. That's true. You did see more than double of what I saw. There was a time though. There was just like a stretch where I felt like I was just in a rut, and I was like, I just want to watch movies that I know I like. So that's what I did.
And I was like, bring on the 2 stars. Is what I said.
So, Um, but yeah, no, we're gonna talk surprises, disappointments. Let's get the bad out of the way first. I let's start with the bad. We'll end on a high note. Um, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go back and forth, and we'll pick a movie. We'll start with the disappointments. We'll see how it goes time wise. We'll see how many we get to. But I told JPO earlier, like let's just each pick 3 to 5, and we'll see how it goes, time permitting. So, what's the first disappointment you want to talk about that's not me?
Oh, geez. I wasn't going to say that. Um, now, my first one here, and I'm already going to cheat and nominate three movies as one. Um,
Okay.
no, I'm going to say it was another year where I was a little disappointed by my good old comedian friends here. And we'll start out light because I don't hate any of these, but I definitely wanted more from these. I'm talking The Machine with Burt Kreischer, didn't and unfortunately didn't make much money either.
Hmm.
All About My Father with Sebastian Maniscalco. Was happy to see him in the lead. It was pretty kind of generic. And then Old Dads with Bill Burr, where I kind of felt like
Ooh.
has its moments, but then I feel like it kind of backpedals, and I feel like it's a little too wishy washy for someone like Burr. I think could have went more hardcore, especially in the ending of the
Mm,
movie here. So, yeah, I mean that would be kind of my first ones like here. Especially I want to see these films succeed because I love to see more people get movies, whether it's Bobby Lee, Andrew Santino, or Tom Segura, or whoever out there. And yeah, unfortunately, between this and last year when we had Joy Coy's movie was not very good. There's a couple last year
was
too
it
that
Easter Sunday released in November?
Easter Sunday. I mean, probably because they just finally threw it out there, and that movie's all over the place too. If you want to go back to that one, but yeah, like I said, I wish for more. I liked the Machine of these three. I think the Machine is the one I would go back to. Um,
Mm.
I don't think I'd ever rush back to All About My Father, and probably the same for Old Dad to a large degree. So
That's interesting because I haven't seen The Machine yet. I know it's on Netflix, so I'll probably get to it soon. All About
it's a
My
good, it's a
Father.
good it's a good leisure R-rated watch. I mean, some
Mm.
jokes you've seen before and whatnot, but Mark
Yeah.
Hamill's fun in it too.
Yeah. And then All About My Father, just I had no interest in that. I know it was Robert De Niro, right? But
Yeah.
old Robert De Niro in comedies, I just hasn't worked. So
What do you mean you don't love War with Grandpa as we
it's
previously talked about him?
it's funny. He had that, and then he had Killers of the Flower Moon with Martin Scorsese, and it's like night and day.
Yeah.
One looked amazing, and one looked. No, obviously, I don't know if he's doing it for the paycheck anymore. Because I mean, you're doing a movie with Scorsese.
Well,
I don't. I don't
he's one of
know.
those weird cats. It's not like he ever had that long of a dry spell,
Right.
like a Nick Cage or like I don't know. Like I feel like John Cusack's become that guy now too, sadly. So I don't know. I think he just does it for the paycheck or likes to work or
He might.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
maybe he just
mean,
likes to work.
you can find him in some really weird. Like there's the really weird movie called The Bag Man with him and John Cusack. There's Heist with him and like this is a crazy cast. Ever seen Heist?
I have not. I don't even know. Well, I mean, I may have heard of it once you say the
Check
cast.
out this cast: De Niro, Batista, Mark Paul Gosselaar from Saint of the Bell. I think Bruce Willis in that. Yeah. Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's the lead, I think. Yeah.
Never heard of it. I'm highly interested now, though.
It's because of the casting, it's a little bit better than you think it would be. So
Huh.
at
Yeah. No, I'm on board with that. Okay.
2015, yeah, the heist, and Kate Bosworth's in one scene as well. And I actually heard her say, "What? Why'd you do that movie Heist?" I think she was like, "Because my scenes with De Niro." So fuck you. Of course I did it.
Right. Who wouldn't want to do a scene with De Niro? So, um, but no, old dads. I guess I'll cheat and go to the surprises because I was actually surprised at how much I liked it. I was like, oh, it's a Netflix comedy, like another comedian, But I was pleasantly surprised at how much I did laugh at it, and I do agree with what you're saying about like towards the end of the movie, and like he could have been a bit more, you know,
He
mm,
did nothing wrong, and he backpedaled so hard.
right, right. So there are issues, but for the most part, like there were several times where I was laughing out loud, and
Like I
um,
said, these three aren't any ones that I hated. I kind of wanted more, and I don't think they really made much of a splash too. Is why I'm
right.
thinking. That's why I'm also putting them into disappointment. Like Machine, for instance, just didn't make the money.
Mhm. And see, for me, it's probably I had no expectations going into Old
Right, we are
Gods.
coming at it different. Yeah, I wanted it to be
So yeah,
great.
right. So I was like, oh, that was actually really because like I ended up giving it a 3.5 on Letterbox.
I'm sure I
I
might have 2.5 or a 3.
Yeah,
I
so
can't remember.
I enjoyed it. And yeah, um, so I thought all three of the male leads here were decent. I'm not gonna say like any of their performances were like, oh my goodness, that was so good, but like I think they did their part, and um, yeah, it was just a good time. So that was, I actually was gonna bring that up later in the episode, but since you brought it up now, we're already disagreeing, and this is why we're not best friends anymore.
You know, 2 years running, we had a good run.
We did have a good run,
There's always this year too. You got 8 months to study.
so it's it's funny that you cheated because I'm also gonna cheat. I'm pretty
We both said fuck your format.
and well, no, we did one at a time. I guess one topic at a time um, instead of one movie. It's so there were a couple of superhero movies, and this is before me seeing Aquaman. I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but
Same as me. I've been bad on theater movies these last 2 months,
yeah,
moving and stuff. So yeah, I was pretty good with theater movies up till the last couple months.
but Shazam 2 and Ant-Man 3 just did not deliver for me the way
Neither one of those
I
movies are
wanted
called
them
that.
to. They're not. So yeah, no,
I'm
Fury of
sorry.
the Gods,
Sorry.
Quantum Mania,
Okay. You got the Wasp. What a sexist.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. Uh, so I guess it would be Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, because the first one wasn't
Oh,
even Ant-Man and
did
the Wasp.
the franchise start over? Yeah, it sure did.
It's just a whole new franchise now. This is actually
I did. I said an ASAP the other day. I said the Ant Man trilogy. I guess it's not a trilogy because it started over with the Wasp.
yeah. Why are these two called Ant-Man and the Wasp? Anyway, and I have Quantum Mania ranked just a little bit lower than Fury of the Gods because I think
I
this
do
is
as well. Which, if you had told me before the year, I don't think I would have guessed that.
no, I was really looking forward to it because I think Paul Rudd really excels at this character, and then even Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp, I think she does a really good job. And I mean, yeah, uh, who else? What Hank Pym? What is his name?
Michael Douglas,
Michael Douglas. Oh my goodness, and his wife,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. I was like Catwoman. No, you look at the cast and the previous two movies, and it's like those movies. Well, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp was a step down. I still think it was a good movie.
Throwing Bill Murray. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this movie, you were supposed to, it was supposed to jumpstart with Kang, and let's not even get started on that. Um, and it was supposed to be the start of like this next like big villain, and it just I don't know, it fell flat. Like I didn't seem like there were any. There was no tension, nothing. Like I didn't feel any of that. I'm pretty sure it came in at under 2 hours, or just well, it was just over 2 hours. But credits and everything. The story is going to be finished before that, um, and just overall forgettable because I'm trying to remember things about it, and other than Modoc being so terrible, I'm just not remembering anything about this
I've got a hot take. I don't hate Modoc. I didn't hate it.
I mean, it was interesting. I guess what I hate about it is just the way it looks. Not the character itself,
Didn't look great. Yeah, it didn't look
but the
great.
way it looks. And I'm like, maybe that's what took me out. But yeah, no, for something that was supposed to jumpstart I guess the next phase, it did
This is the
not.
first of the phase. I just looked. Yeah,
Yeah, it did not deliver on what it could
it's
have.
odd.
So
I'm not too far from you. I think because I've already been lessened by. I didn't love Black Widow. I like this better than Eternals. Eternals is my least favorite MCU film.
mine too.
I put this not too far lower than like a Doctor Strange multiverse or a Thor Love and Thunder. So I feel like I went in with kind of midish expectations. So I came out with kind of like All right. So that's why like I almost didn't have this in my disappointments because
Mm,
this and Shazam, even Shazam, I thought was as good as the first one. I actually had enough fun with Shazam Fury of the Gods, and again maybe with low expectations, knowing like, well, we're kind of done. We're probably not going to see this character again. Maybe get some fun cameos. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, they're definitely lower than what I would like them to be. Like, the first two Ant Mans, I'm sure were higher on my yearly list. But yeah, I didn't hate it. But yeah, there is something cold about it. And one of my always major problems with this Ant Man one was I feel like sometimes they go away from what made the first two special. You know what I mean? We didn't get Michael Pena's Lewis. We didn't get any
right.
of like the ex-wife and like that world. We get to this new kind of wacky universe, and it felt kind of cold to me. You know what I mean? Like it does
Mhm.
feel like, oh, let's go nuts. Instead of just kind of building something a little more organic that I think you could have with Ant Man.
Yeah, and I didn't hate the movie. I still gave it a 3. Um,
Yeah, that's probably
it
where
was
I'm
just
at
it
too.
was just that it was just disappointing.
Yeah.
Wasn't up to the level. And I think Fury of the Gods. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this movie that I just didn't. Maybe it's because I loved that first one so much. And Zachary Levi as this kid, this teenager, and he plays the teenager so well. Um, but I don't know, something about his performance was almost it felt almost cheesy and like corny and like I don't know, like his performance just didn't match up to the level in that first one, like because he's still this kid that's going through these issues, and I don't know how much time has passed between movies, but it was like a complete 180 in just like his attitude and demeanor, I guess. That um, oh no, okay, now he's good, and we don't see anything. I don't know what it is. Like the whole family aspect. I didn't particularly love the villains. Um,
Mhm.
I think Rachel Zegler's character was good, but Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu, what a strange combination for
Yeah, what a
villains.
fun, yeah, if you had another
Uh,
fun sentence. Uh, 2023,
yeah,
Helen Mirren will be the villain in a
right.
superhero flick.
Um, and maybe also the Wonder Woman cameo got spoiled, so maybe that kind of took me out of it. Um,
I was lucky. I think dinner either that night or the next night was like eating, and I went, it's on the fucking commercial at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, that's a dick move. So
yeah,
I was lucky in that. But yeah, that is kind of weird that they did that. Like
it was
straight
like
up on the television ads, it was in.
and it was. I'm pretty sure it was after the movie was released, right? So maybe it just
It's
wasn't doing well box office wise, and they were like,
I
"Hey,
feel like
what
it's
can we do?"
pretty on. I could be wrong. I feel like it was pretty on the cusp. Like if it was, it wasn't long after.
Or
Yeah,
the projections just weren't good. So they're like, "What can we do to get people to go see this
yeah.
movie?" Yeah,
No,
but that and that
I want there to be like a mandate that says if it's in the last 30 minutes of the movie, you're not allowed to put it in your trailer or TV spot because I hate when they do that.
right, right,
Amazing
like the Black Adam
Spider-Man,
stuff.
but Black Adam,
And they,
Amazing Spider-Man, Halloween, not Halloween, Alien Covenant. There's been some really Piranha. There's been some really bad ones where like you see like the last shot. That's horrible.
and also stop giving away your whole movie in the trailer.
Yeah, what was the trailer I just saw the other day? Where like I was like, you see like the like a twist. You see like the person betray somebody. You see that they like you see maybe who dies first, and I'm like, fuck, I feel like I saw this movie. Like yeah, there's
Yeah,
some really bad ones.
yeah, and also it's like don't don't give away the beginning of the movie. Also, what was it? I don't remember what it was, but it was like they were doing something, and then somebody dies, and then they go to the rest of the trailer. I'm like, oh well, why would you show that? Like now that's not gonna like that seems like an
Yeah,
integral part of the story, and you're just giving it away. And
and
now,
I don't know about you too, and this is it might be a personal thing. I'm cool with the first trailer, and then after that, I don't unless it's a teaser in a trailer, it's different. But I don't need
right?
like trailer two, trailer three. Like, just give me a little bit, and then I don't need your third, Avengers trailer.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Just one is fine.
And give me one nice 2-minute trailer, and we're good. Because I don't feel like the third trailer will sell any more tickets than the first one did. You know
No,
what I mean? I don't think anyone's
yeah,
like, you know what, my money wasn't sold, but now it is.
yeah. Like I don't need another Dune trailer. We don't need another Dune trailer.
Yeah,
We
I'm
don't
cool
need
with that.
another. What's another movie that's coming out? Ghostbusters. We don't need another Ghostbusters trailer.
Yeah.
Like this is just we. Also, like for big movies like that, it's like why do you need three trailers? Like people are going to go see your movie. People are going to go see a Ghostbusters movie just because it's called Ghostbusters.
Did I ever show you the Blue Beetle Ant Man poster thing?
I don't think you did.
Here, let me
It's
let me share a screen with you. This is great.
funny that
I
you
think it's great.
it's funny that you mentioned Blue Beetle. We might be talking about that later.
Whoever was working here, show it. Look at that. Whoever was working at DC and Marvel just shared their template.
It's
It is
pretty much
verbatim the same. Like big your main character in the front, big head next to you is Kang, and in this case it's the Blue Beetle unmasked. Some side characters, it's both like light blue, like it's verbatim, pretty much the same template.
yeah. Basically, I'm trying to see what those numbers are. So you know, what 44,
I mean, you can just look at my letterbox.
43? I could. I
It's
could.
not unlisted. I don't hide
I,
it.
I do. I don't know why, but yeah, but no. I've decided not to reveal my top 12 until Saturday because you and I are both we'll both be on rank 'em. Um, but yeah, no, those were my two as far as like superhero movies, uh, being disappointments because I wanted more. And I didn't like I said I didn't hate either of them. I
Right.
wanted more. Kind of like you with those comedies.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I
This is
wanted more.
disappointment. This isn't worst film of the year. There's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got anything else that disappointed you?
Yeah, for sure, man. So let's see, for disappointment, let's go Expendables 4. Let's talk about this fucking travesty. Um,
Go ahead. I haven't seen it. I haven't put myself through it yet.
this could be on the worst of the list depending on how many movies you've seen. So first of all, I was always trepidatious with this movie because the thing that I liked about the Expendables trilogy, the first three, was they have a fun cast. They've got a fun villain, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the second, it's Jean Claude Van Damme, it's Mel Gibson. Oh, now we're throwing in Wesley Snipes. We're throwing in, you know what I mean? Like different people to the side cast. Arnold pops up, Bruce is here, Harrison Ford's here. And the fourth one was like, we've got none of that. Like, there's no fun villain. I think it's Andy Garcia, who I'm not knocking Andy Garcia, but he's not, that's not a fun villain. We've seen him do stuff like this. You have none of the fun side characters. Like Terry Crews is off, doing America's Got Talent. He was busy or whatever. I think Jet Li's gone. And yeah, I know, yeah, Arnold's not back. Ford's not back. And something I could tell from the trailer, this is a semi spoiler, but you could just tell from the poster and the trailer if you're a movie nerd. Stallone's not even in it that much either. This is pretty much Statham's
Mm.
movie, and
That's what that was kind of the vibe I got from the trailer too.
yeah,
'Cause
like
it was
and the fact
like
that it's the poster is like and Stallone. You know what I mean? Like you kind of it's a two big hints, and it is
right.
true that like this is definitely Statham's movie. Some bad green screen going on too, like clearly shot on a stage. Really weird. Like maybe if we're all fair, there's one thing I want to tell you spoilery wise that really bothered me. Like a weird plot decision that they make, and yeah, just unnecessary sequel here to the Max here. You know what I mean? I don't think I've read anybody that's been a big fan of this movie. So definitely disappointment
Yeah,
here. The first three are fun. They know what they are. They had great cast,
exactly.
and this just felt like, well, we can probably make some money because it's called Expendables, and Jason Statham's
Right.
still willing to work with us.
Yeah. Let's hope The Beekeeper is a better movie then.
Um, I don't have
We'll see.
faith that it's going to be great, but I do have faith that
There's
as long as you have some like well staged action scenes, you probably will be.
there's a reason it's being released in January.
Exactly. Yeah, January, and like Statham's one of those weird guys too, where like he's never bad, but he can pick some bad scripts. So I'm never necessarily sold by Statham alone. I mean, again, speaking of bad movies, I didn't see it because I didn't even like the first one that much, and I heard this was way worse than Meg. No one liked.
Meg 2, The Trench is not good.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't
it's in my
necessarily
bottom
trust
5.
it. Yeah, and I never even finished it. I think I started it on Paramount or wherever it was, and then I was like, I've got other things to do. I fell asleep. So it's actually not on my list of all the movies I've seen. Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's very respectable, or however you want to put it. Yeah, no, it just there's really nothing really going for it here. The action's not that great.
Maybe you're referring to Meg 2.
Oh, Meg 2, yeah, that makes sense. Well, which is a Fuji 14. Like I said, Jason Statham can put in some really great work.
He's good in the movie. Statham is. But...
That's what I mean. Yeah, no reviews against anyone against Statham sucks. No, that's never true. No, but
it was just
the scripts do, and the movies do.
It was just boring too. Like there were moments where Meg 2 where it was, because this is because I liked the first one. I thought it was fine, and so I was like, I think this one, I think it'll be fine. And it wasn't even fine. So, and it's not to crap on Statham here, because he's good. I feel like in Expendables 4 he would maybe good. We'll see.
He's as good as you can be. Sure. He's as good as you can be. Yeah. In no case am I blaming him by any means, but yeah.
But
it's not something you can elevate either.
It was just boring. Like there would be good moments of action, but like the story around it was just not good. It wasn't intriguing, and it's an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. An hour 50. I felt like I was watching this thing for 3 hours. It dragged so much, and it was just not. There was just nothing about it that was redeeming, except for, like I said, Statham was fine. So, yeah, Jason Statham, you're not disappointing, but your movie choices are. So I need to finish this movie, Chris. I need to finish Saltburn, because I started it and I got to the point where Barry Keoghan's character went to Jacob Elordi's character's house. So I'm at that point of the movie. So
I didn't see it. What are you watching it on?
It's on Prime.
Oh, is it really? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll get to it.
It's on Prime. So
I just saw Bradley Cooper's things on Netflix.
Maestro?
Maestro, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you have anything else that you want to talk about disappointment-wise, or we can move on to the surprises?
Well, you said like pick 5. You only talked about 2.
Technically, got 3 movies though.
I said that was 1. That was 1, and now Expendables was 2.
That's true.
I hate to nominate this one here, but Fool's Paradise with Charlie Day is a nomination for mine as well here. I love Charlie Day. I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love him as either a main star. He had that fun rom-com with Jenny Slate last year or the year before. He can be a fun co-star as well. They like Pacific Rim. Hotel Artemis, Fist Fight's another good one where he's the lead and he can carry it. And yeah, this one on paper, I was like, oh wow, he's directing. This might be a little bit of a passion project for him. He got literally everyone under the sun to be in it. If you're an Always Sunny fan, Glenn Howerton's in it. His wife, the waitress, is in it. Artemis is in it. Not Rob McElhenney. No Mac, which is weird.
Probably busy with is he the one with
He's the Mythic Quest guy.
Is he the one with Ryan Reynolds and?
Yes, and that the Wrexham people. Yeah, that's right. He's the Wrexham guy
football team.
Yeah. And I mean, and keep going. I mean, Jason Bateman's in this for a minute. Ray Liotta, R.I.P. Adrian Brody, Ken Jeong plays a big part. Yeah, and it's just weird. It's just kind of, you maybe chuckle once or twice. I know Chris Hayes would agree with me on this too. Actually, Chris chime in on Fool's Paradise because I know he's shown some hate for this movie as well. You maybe chuckle once or twice, but the laughs just aren't kind of there. It feels almost a little like old timey mixed with new timey, but the mix doesn't really work out. The ending is very whatever. Yeah, just one that didn't really come together. And it's unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to help him, get anything else made.
Right. This is one that I was fairly excited for because, like you said, Charlie Day. It's like, yeah, I'm in. But then I usually don't listen to reviews. I don't let that sway me. But the more I hear people down going down on this movie, I'm like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And then I just haven't gotten to it.
Fair enough.
So um, I probably will still end up watching it because I am still interested. And
I feel like
there's
it's
a
a
lot of
good
movies
as well.
that get hate that I actually end up liking. So who knows? Maybe this is one of those movies for me. Um, this one might be a weird choice because I don't think anybody thought this was going to be a good movie anyway. But I I was disappointed in what we got with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Mm.
Um, because I think the mistake they made was playing this as a straight up horror movie. And I'm alone now. Um,
Give me a
I
second,
think
goddammit.
I think their mistake was making this a straight up horror movie and not adding an element of like corniness or cheesiness, but going from it like the gore and the straight up horror. I mean, it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Um, I don't know what other characters they could have used. Maybe we'll see in the sequel because I guess he is delivering a sequel. I mean, I did end up buying the Steelbook, so I guess I am helping this movie. But
God damn it! Yeah, you're the reason he's doing a
um,
sequel because it made a
the,
shit ton of money versus
the Steel
especially what it was cost.
that's true. I mean, the Steelbook was just really cool though. I'll just find it some other time. I'll be showing those off on a Saturday on a podcast about movies over on the Movie Hero Network. Um, but
A
yeah,
show
like
you never invite me on.
well, I don't invite a lot of people on there.
I know. I just wanted to feel bad.
I don't. Um, but no, like, and it's funny because I didn't expect it to be good,
Mm.
but I expected to at least have a little bit of fun with it, and there was no fun to be had.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback and agree with you almost 100 here. Yeah, it's in my bottom five of the year. I want to say number two or three. Um,
Number four, as far as bottom.
okay,
For me.
I don't remember. Uh, no, I hated it, dude. It's badly edited. It's badly acted. I think the best part is the first 2 minutes because it has kind of a cool animated intro.
That
Um,
animated intro is really good.
It is. It sets up a good enough plot as well. And yeah, just there's nothing about it that's enjoyable. I'm sorry. I think the only person that'll defend it I've heard really is Pez. I feel like maybe he saw like a screening with friends or a screening with
Yeah, I
people, and
guess
he
this just the screening that he went to was full of people who didn't get
like
it.
I feel like that's the only reason it got elevated for him is because he was around people that were at least like laughing and having fun. Because yeah, this is a boring, shitty watch alone. It's just a bad movie, you know.
Yeah. So, but enough of the bad. Let's
Hold on. Oh wait, I want to do some more bad real quick. Let me just listen
okay,
to
okay.
it. Hypnotic, Robert Rodriguez, Ben Affleck. What the fuck? We Have a Ghost, the worst movie of Christopher Landon yet. I felt
Hmm.
not as good as Freaky or Happy Death Day. And House Party. You look bad on paper. You were bad in execution. Your leads aren't that good or likable. Your cameos are there just to be cameos. You're a bad movie. House Party.
Hey, I
White Men
love Kid
Catch Up.
Cudi in that
Actually, not that
movie
bad.
though. Love Kid Cudi in the movie
Kid
though.
Cudi's the only cameo that actually kind of does something
I
and
I
goes
I, I
somewhere.
I dug that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree on Hypnotic. Haven't seen the others. Like I said, I guess I just
Oh, and
stayed
Exorcist
away
was
from
disappointing.
bad movies. Hmm?
Exorcist was disappointing. A waste of your legacy character, and doesn't if there was gonna be a trilogy, we'll see, buddy.
Yeah. Um, I'll add one more too. Cocaine Bear. I I I thought it could be fun. It's the premise. People, whoever was involved. Ray Liotta, people like that. O'Shea Jackson Jr. Like there were good people involved. But are you a comedy or are you a horror movie? You got to pick one. And if you're not gonna pick one, then and go for the horror comedy, then try to execute it a little bit better because it just it
I
seems
would say
like
I was only I was only slightly disappointed because the title is great and the story is great, and yeah, it's not as like my favorite movie, but I was okay with it. I think more than some others.
I can't wait for the sequel, Pharaoh and Tortoise.
I believe there is some like what is it? There's definitely cocaine snakes. There's definitely been some
Oh,
ripoffs
yeah,
already.
I'm not surprised. But speaking of surprised, what are,
Segment.
what are some movies that surprised you from 2023?
Well, let me give a spoiler because we talked briefly about it off air. I think we're both in agreements on Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. This is the I wouldn't call it a sequel. You can technically call it a reboot because we tried back in the year 2000 with Marlon Wayans and Jeremy Irons. And by the way, if you ever want to have some fun, just look up Jeremy Irons in that movie, like his little mash cut, because he's definitely chewing some scenery there. And yeah, the movie was a disappointment, money wise, review wise, it was slaughtered. And but finally, 20 years later, we get a kind of a reboot here. And yeah, on paper, I was like, all right. I mean, it's got fucking it's got Pine. I like him. Rodriguez is fine. I feel like I haven't seen her do much lately outside of Fast and Furious. Um, but like I was like, oh, and the Detective Pikachu guy, I like him. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Hugh Grant,
I'll be honest, Justice Smith. Not a fan. I haven't really liked much that he's
really?
done. But I loved him in this movie. I thought his character was
Hey,
great.
Jacob, you want to have a cry and like Justice Smith?
Maybe.
Go to Netflix, watch All the Bright Places. It's a movie I've hyped before that I don't think I've seen anyone else has seen
Hmm.
it.
Well,
But it's so good, and he's so good in it. And yeah, and I think he's got range. I kind of like Justice Smith because like he's in
mhm.
Voyeurs. He's the best part of Voyeurs, I think. Outside of Sydney
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Maybe I just haven't seen enough. Maybe I just need to see more.
um, and then Hugh Grant too. Like, what a surprise Hugh Grant's been these last few years. He's kind of becoming like my favorite. Kind of like co-actor. You know what I mean? Whether it's The Gentleman, Paddington Two, this. Like, I'm sorry.
Wonka.
Um, I haven't seen it. Even
What?
speaking of Jason Statham having a bad to mediocre year, the third Jason Statham movie, The Ruse de Guerre or whatever with Guy
Mm.
Ritchie, like that was fine. But Hugh Grant is probably again maybe the best part about that. So yeah, DD is a fun movie. Has several good laughs as well here. I mean, I enjoyed the
Yeah.
skeleton bit. Works out as well. The Bradley Cooper cameo is funny. Um, and then like
Another good year. Bradley
you know
Cooper.
what I mean? Bradley Cooper. And then even the Hugh Grant, kind of end up becoming the villain. He's fun,
Yeah.
and the
He's
effects
Jack
are
in the
good. Like yeah,
trailer.
everything just kind of works to a large degree, and like even like the end cap with him escaping with the bird is funny. Like yeah, it works. It was a fun time.
But we accepted your pardon. Um, yeah, no, I just watched this a few days ago actually, and yeah, I think the biggest thing that surprised me was how funny it actually was. Like I thought it was going to be this action movie, that we were going to go heavy on the action, like adventure side of it. But no, this I wouldn't put it past anyone to classify this as a comedy. Um, you know, I know on other channels we'd like to do drafts and stuff, and if we were doing a comedy draft and you wanted to draft this movie, I'd be like, all right, there's no problem for me.
Yeah, it's an
I
action comedy. However you want to put it. Yeah.
I thought there were a lot of good laughs. I thought Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez were really great together. I loved their back and forth. I loved Michelle Rodriguez and her relationship with the child Kira, um, and yeah, I mean, and the ending. I expected a happy ending, but not the happy ending that we got. You know what I mean? Um, not gonna not gonna say what it is, just in case people haven't seen it yet. It is a more recent movie. If this was a movie that came out like 5 years ago, I would because I don't care at that point. But um, for newer releases like this, because you know what I'm talking about, and that's all that matters.
I got you.
Yeah. So yeah, no, big surprise. Um, I feel like this one you're not going to. agree with me on, and that's okay. Um, I liked White Men Can't Jump.
Mm,
I liked it, and maybe because House Party was so bad that I went into this one with such low expectations, and I came out like, oh, that was all right. Uh, Now, of course, the leads. It's no Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. I'm not gonna say that. No, absolutely not. Those two blow these guys out of the water. Um, but I love that it wasn't like a straight, by the numbers remake. It was a different story. It was just the same premise. You know, we don't have a girlfriend that's going on Jeopardy. None of that. But it's still the same basic premise of these two guys got to work together and make some money in the basketball tournament. Um, for not being a trained actor, I thought Jack Harlow was decent. Um, I thought the basketball scenes were very good. I think the basketball scenes in this movie could be on par with the first one. I think I'd have to watch them back to back to kind of get a better gauge on that. But I really enjoyed the basketball scenes. The story around it was fine, but I think the basketball scenes elevated, and the fact that I didn't hate Jack Harlow's performance elevated it just a little bit more as well. So nowhere near like the top of my list, but a movie that I was like, oh, I actually like that.
yeah, I mean, I'm not too far from it. Yeah, I don't know if I would put it in. It is a surprise because yeah, you're coming on to the House Party going, oh, same director, same idea of remaking a movie. You know what I mean? Rebooting, remaking, however you want to put it. But yeah, this one at least does have something going for it here. You know, I mean, it's not in my bottom 10. You know, I think there was enough good. I like the two leads better than I do in House Party. And yeah, there's a couple laughs. There's a couple. It doesn't get too overly emotional, but it hits that a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, this definitely is. I guess you could say a surprise because you're a little trepidatious, especially as someone like me. I was actually just coming off of seeing the original within the last year before that, and really liking
Yeah, me
that.
too.
And yeah, it's definitely a step down. I mean, again, like it's not the same movie, which is good, but like it's definitely just not as fun or as funny either.
No, no,
You know
no.
what I mean? And I thought the stakes were better too in the other one. There's more
Yeah,
heavier
yeah,
stakes, like with the Rosie Perez girlfriend, and whatnot. Um, Woody. I think there's like a really like kind of beautiful story beneath the last as well there. But yeah,
right,
but yeah,
right.
it definitely wasn't as bad as House Party.
Yeah, right. And yeah, which was why I said the story around everything was just, hmm. But basketball scenes, and as a basketball guy, like
Yeah, yeah,
if
that,
you have
that
if
probably
you have
pushed it for
you
me
have
more.
yeah, if you have good basketball scenes in your basketball movie, you're probably gonna get a thumbs up for me. So yeah, White Men Can't Jump, not terrible. So
Whatever, bring me an endorsement. Put that on the DVD.
yeah, what else you got?
One that surprised me how much I liked Gran Turismo. I mean, here's another
Still
one
need to
that's,
watch that. Yeah,
yeah, I highly recommend it. I think you'll dig it here because again, on paper it's like okay, it's a video game movie, but like it's a
sort
racing
of.
game that doesn't really even have a story, but it's about I guess it's based on a true story and whatnot. And again, just the emotional beats pay off here. Good new leading guy. I don't remember his name yet. So, but like the emotional beats with that, David Harbour is the cranky, doesn't really want to be the guy originally coach. The father relationship with Jamin Hunsu. Could see Jamin Hunsu have like a nice little meaty role here, and yeah, again another good example of if you do see a Jacob, don't rewatch the trailer. The trailer gives away a bit too much, especially depending on which trailer you watch. But
Mm,
no, it pays off. And again, speaking of like, um, like you said, like when the basketball scenes are good, and here the racing scenes are good as well. So that also helps that because it's Neil Blomkamp, the guy who brought us from
yeah,
District 9 Elysium, so he's got a cool visual style as well. And yeah, this is definitely a movie I walked in on paper, kind of going like, all right, I'm not necessarily for nor against a racing movie here. And yeah, Archie. Oh, damn! I was trying to pull up his name for Perry Specs, and I'm just going to butcher the pronunciation. Archie Madekwi.
mm,
If that's wrong, I apologize. But he's good in it as the leading guy. Interesting year for Archie. Also in Saltburn and Bo's Afraid, evidently. All right, good,
Oh,
good, good year for only being in 4, 8, 9, 10 movies.
hmm,
Uh,
not bad.
so yeah, yeah, Gran Turismo definitely something that was higher than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I definitely plan on watching it before Saturday because I feel like I've heard nothing but good things. I'm like, could it
Yeah,
crack that top 12? Could it be an honorable mention?
it's pretty high
We'll
for me. I'd have
see.
to look,
So
but yeah, it's pretty high. I mean, again, looking at our friends on Letterbox here, it's a 3.5, 3.5, 4, 4, 4.5, 3.5, 4.5, 4, 4, 4, and 4.5, and literally nothing lower than 3.5, which I think is
yeah,
pretty good.
and I know our another guy that we talk movies with a lot, Austin, is pretty high on this movie too.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I'm. It's funny that you mentioned that because it's sort of based on the true story of a guy playing the game.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna cheat again, and what a great year for these like based on a true story movies.
Oh yeah, it
Um,
was it was the year of come back next year or come back next time because we had a lot of like two parters like Fast Nine, Mission
yep, yep, yep.
Impossible, Spider Man.
Spider Verse.
What's another one people were mad? Oh, Rebel Moon. It's all very much
Hmm.
come back next time. And the other theme that I think we saw this year was based on a product, whether it's
Yeah,
BlackBerry, Flamin' Hot.
you had
Maybe it was
Air,
last
you had
more.
Tetris.
Tetris. Uh,
Yeah,
kind of dumb money in a way, kind of, not
yeah,
really my man
I
style,
still need
but
to watch that one. I've
that's
heard
a
good
good
things
one.
about that one too.
Oh,
So
the Beanie Bubble, Beanie Baby one.
that's another one. Yeah, those two, Dumb Money and the Beanie Bubble, are two that I need to watch. But yeah, I loved Air.
Loved Air.
Loved Air. Top five for me this year.
I believe I agree.
Um, Blackberry, loved it.
Did it too.
Currently top 10, but if depending on how many I watch between now and
I
Saturday, it
believe I
could
agree.
fall a little bit. Again, I've only seen 57, so I haven't seen as many as a lot of people. Um, Tetris for a long time was hovering around that top 15. Um, when I watched it earlier in the year, it has since fallen a little bit. And then Flamin' Hot, while it's a movie about Cheetos, it was, and it's one of those where I started off and just the way it was being presented, I was like, is this going to turn into like some sort of spoof? Is it going to be like a spoof based on a true story? Um, but it ended up being like I think there was a lot of good humor and a little bit of heart to it too. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
and like funny, like it's also just interesting. They're interesting to watch too because like I had zero knowledge of I just just assumed like oh Flame Hot Cheetos are so popular. They must have been easy and it wasn't.
right? No, I guess
And
it
great
came
story,
out.
but guy finding from the bottom too, kind of story.
Yeah, and I guess it came out a little bit that a lot of it was embellished or not
What?
100% accurate. Like the guy didn't even, but whatever. Regardless, I thought it was a good movie, and it was very surprising. And yeah, it was just a good year for those types of movies.
Yeah, I don't think there's not a bad one in the bunch. My least favorite might be the Beanie Bubble one, but even that's like I think like I got a really really good Zach Galifianakis performance in it. Like
Mhm.
he's different than you've ever seen him.
Yeah, that's the main reason I'm excited for that one. Is like, that's Zach Galifianakis. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
that is not Between Two Ferns.
no, he's definitely given an interesting performance.
So, all right, you got one more you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out because maybe again I was a little trepidatious because of how good the first one was, and this is like a pseudo sequel. I dug Missing, kind of the pseudo
Mm,
sequel to Searching.
yeah, no,
Um, yeah, Missing was pretty good. Again, using the same concept. Even the first time, I'll admit, the first time when Searching came out, I was like, found footage, internet movies that I'm not necessarily sold on.
mhm.
But then it was just word of mouth, constant word of mouth of how good that movie was, and yeah, that movie became top 10 of that year. And so yeah, I was a little trepidatious because I was like, all right, are they just milking it? Because like, of course they're gonna make it because it's cheap to make and it's what I mean, and they're gonna do a pseudo sequel. But no, I think they found a good way to continue it. Again, a good kind of hinges on that main performance here, and I think she's really good in it.
Yeah.
Who is the main girl?
Her name is
Is it
Storm
Storm?
Reed.
Oh, okay.
Storm Reed. Yeah.
I was if this was they said, I would have said that for a point. I just didn't want to say it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it kind of hinges on her to a
Mom
large
played by
degree.
Nia Long.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good seeing Nia Long too. I've always liked her. So yeah, again, it's just I think they used the format to a degree, and it paid off. You're invested to the kind of very end. Some weird, interesting twist. Like yeah, I dug it.
Yeah, no, I loved it for for the longest time. Up until recently, this was hovering top 10. Like it was in that 10 to 12 range. It has since dropped a little bit, but it's still number 15. Um, but yeah, for the longest time it was top 10. So no, I agree. I was very high on that movie when it first came out, and I thought Storm Reed was fantastic. So um, and I want to bring this one up because I don't know that it should be a surprise at how good it was, because Maestro, I think people expected it to be good. Bradley Cooper's second directorial take here, and he does really good. What I was blown away by, and what surprises me, is how good Carey Mulligan was in this movie. She might have given my favorite performance of the year, and I did not go into this movie expecting that. I don't know, I wouldn't say I'm an awards expert, so I don't know anything. But if she's not at least top two or three for that Best Actress conversation, then apparently I need to watch more movies, because I was blown away by her performance from start to finish. And the movie itself was just really good too. Like I loved the first half being black and white, and then as we get into like the later part of his life, it's in color. And Bradley Cooper does really excellent here. Like a great year from him, between directing and starring in this, to Guardians 3, to even his cameo in Dungeons and Dragons, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Solid year for him.
Guardians 3. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Guardians 3 not making the surprising list, because I think we all knew it was going to be great. But yeah, no, Maestro.
And a step above him too. But yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. It's funny though. I went back after seeing Guardians 3, just to go off on a tangent here, I guess. And I rewatched 2.
I did too.
Didn't hate it as much as I did the first couple times I watched it.
I never hated it, but it's definitely got its problems for me, and it's definitely
Well, I guess hate is a strong word, but yeah.
Maybe second level MCU kind of thing for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say, good to hear about Maestro, man. I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, now that it's on Netflix, maybe I'll definitely get to it, because I'm a huge A Star Is Born fan, and also Carey Mulligan too. Like I'm not surprised to hear she killed it, because she's always been great, man. Shane, Promising Young Woman, and a movie I've always tried to shed some more light on too. An Education from 2009. She's fantastic in it. One of her earlier roles too. Yeah. And yeah, like I think that was the first movie where I was like, oh shit, like yeah, her and Peter Sarsgaard are the main, and yeah, so she's always been somebody to kind of to watch.
Yeah, I remember I watched Promising Young Woman like right before the Oscars that year, and I'm pretty sure she was nominated, and I'm like, okay, that's my choice. And then she didn't win. I was like, okay, I'm disappointed. But she's my choice this year, and I'm prepared to be disappointed again, because I do think overall it's a strong year, and but I'm hopeful. Just checking the comment. His surprise was Wonka and The Color Purple. I haven't seen The Color Purple yet, but I will get to it. I do like musicals. I wouldn't say musicals. I don't know that musicals are making a comeback, because I don't think they've really gone.
I feel like musicals have made a comeback in the last few years. Like
yeah, like Tick Tick Boom, Heights, West Side Story.
Right. I feel like we're there already.
So there's been a few. I mean, and I think you're always going to have animated musicals too. I mean, as long as Disney's making movies, or I guess Adam Sandler on Netflix.
And to make, yeah, Leo, by the way, bit of a musical, just so you know. Um, I was to say to make you feel
And we're
good
getting
too,
Mean Girls.
Jacob. Although the trailers won't tell you. Um,
No, we know.
the, so to make you feel good, Jacob, according to Variety, your top runners for female performance are Emma Stone, Poor Things, Margot Robbie and Barbie, Greta Lee in Past Lives, Lily Gladstone in Killer's Flower Moon, and Carey Mulligan for Maestro. So according to Variety, she is one of the front runners.
I haven't seen Poor Things yet, so I can't speak on Emma Stone's performance. But the other three that you mentioned, along with Carey Mulligan, I get it. I get it. So I thought Barbie was fantastic. I was that was another one that I would have brought up because I'm surprised at how much I liked it because it's not a movie geared towards me.
Mm.
But I came out of it like it might have been. I don't have it ranked higher than Oppenheimer because I think Oppenheimer was the better movie. But the movie I had more fun with was Barbie.
Of
Uh,
course you did. That goes without saying. That's the same logic I hate on movie fights or tournament fights. We were like, well, I would watch this one first. Of course you would watch the fluffier movie first. That's not what we're talking about.
no. I would because I haven't rewatched either of them. I'd probably rewatch Oppenheimer first, um, because I liked the story better. But the movie I had more fun with, and the movie I went out of that day was Barbie. Like Barbie was on my mind just a little bit more. But as the year has gone by, it's like no, Oppenheimer's the better movie. And if you put these two in front of me, yes, I would actually choose Oppenheimer to rewatch first. Um,
Yeah, so I have a little bit of problems with Barbie. I do feel like the message was beating over your head a little bit here, and the Will Ferrell stuff, sadly, I think kind of gets old quickly. But otherwise, though, pretty enjoyable movie here. And yeah, I think movies like Barbie, movies like even like going back in a way to like Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, like
mhm.
never judge a book by its cover kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, Barbie on paper is not necessarily for a 34. Why am I making myself older? A 33-year-old male.
Not not for 3 more months.
No, hell no. Hey, 9 months. 8 months.
Well, for
Quit
me,
making me older.
for
Fuck
me,
you. Wait, how old are you?
33.
Oh, shit. Hey,
No,
twins.
no, we're the same age.
Wait, you're older than me?
By 6 months.
Why did I think you were like several years younger? You got that cute face,
Baby.
Jacob. Got that baby face going, baby. Um, but like yeah, like because I had friends that were like, I'm not gonna watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and I'm like, why? It's a good fucking movie. I'm not gonna watch Paddington. I'm not gonna watch Barbie. Then you're just ignorant. I'm sorry. If it's a good movie, like I can
Yeah,
see how some movies do cater to a certain audience. There are certain movies I'm not gonna watch because it is definitely meant for just tiny kids or
right,
definitely meant for
right,
like older women or something like
right. I
that.
didn't watch Paw
But then there's
Patrol the
just a good movie.
movie.
Exactly. I didn't see Paw Patrol. You know what I mean? I'm probably not going to see the book club. Like,
Right.
but
I didn't watch 80 for Brady.
didn't see that because I also don't like Tom Brady. But I also don't like football. Um, he was funny in Ted too, I guess. But like, yeah, but like, then there's just movies that are just good in general. You know, Barbie's one of them. Barbie's a good example of like, don't just not see it because you're a dude. Like, go see it. It's
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
And it's really
And
also to give it credit too. Looking at Variety, they're giving a lot of credit. They're saying Gosling might get nominated. They're saying Robbie might get nominated. So
yeah,
there's a lot of high
the
hopes for
screenplay
Barbie.
might get nominated.
Yeah, which is not a
Um,
common with comedies at all.
yeah. So yeah, no. Shout out to that movie and shout out again, biggest movie of the year. I think box office wise.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was the highest grossing movie for I believe June and July. So yeah, it really did good things. All right, before we sign off, what's a movie? First movie you can think of. What's a movie you're looking forward to for 2024?
I'm a shill. I want to see what Deadpool 3 does. If it's gonna kill the MCU, if it's gonna like, what are they gonna do? We got Hugh
Right, what are they
Jackman
gonna do with that?
back.
Yeah,
We got Hugh Jackman back. So yeah, that's definitely the first thing on my mind.
my original answer would have been Beyond the Spider Verse, but since that has been delayed, I'm going with
Mhm.
Mickey 17. Bong Joon-ho, Robert Pattinson.
Oh, the movie that should have won tournament fights.
The movie that should have won, yes.
Yeah.
Instead of Furiosa. I'm still excited for Furiosa, but I'm never going to be anticipating a prequel more than an original movie or a start of a franchise.
It depends. So, like for instance, speaking of prequels, I'm more excited for a Quiet Place prequel than I am for Furiosa, just because it's a different characters. I'm always a little taken out when it's you know Furiosa is gonna be fine. Like
Right.
the action moments are gonna be a little less for me. I'm sorry, they just are. Solo. If Han Solo's hanging from a train, but it's a prequel, I think Han Solo's gonna make it out of this train a lot.
Right. That was my problem with Black Widow. Like, all
Yeah,
right, well, we know that nothing. I mean, this is a prequel. Nothing's gonna happen. There's no stakes.
there's
Um,
no stakes, with the main characters. Yeah,
and then I can agree with what you're saying about a Quiet Place prequel because
we don't know these characters.
it's
These
never
characters might
explained.
not.
We don't know these characters, and it's never really
Yeah.
explained in the first one, like where they came from and like how
Yeah,
these
you get a
creatures got
little
here.
bit in the second one as to like day one kind of shit, but yeah.
Yeah, but you don't really. Yeah, so that I think that a case where I think a prequel is warranted and will work. But
Yeah,
what do I know? I loved Wonka, and I might talk about it on Saturday. So
we got a lot of cool things, man. Joker, Beetlejuice, Spaceman, Dune, If, Crow, Ghostbusters, Planet of the Apes. Yeah, a lot of
so
cool
much
stuff
good
coming.
stuff coming up. Yep, I think 2024 could still be a good year, despite some movies being put on hold because of the strike. But I still
Yeah.
think we got some good stuff coming. So, um, all right. Well, those were our biggest, well, not all of them, but some of our surprises, some of
Oh
our
yeah,
disappointments.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was better than I thought it was gonna be.
I really dug that too. So, um, yeah, check out Jordan Owens over on the Pierce Co. and Pierce Wrestling,
Sounds like
where he does some trivias, does some countdowns, does some exclusive matches with Real Pro Wrestling. Is there other promotions or
That's
just
how,
Real Pro?
well, hold on. The Real
I'm
Pro Wrestling stuff's on the Real Pro Wrestling YouTube. Pierce
uh,
Wrestling has other exclusive matches. Yeah.
there's other. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I assumed you were trying to get double views.
No, well, also Real Pro deserves his own channel. You know what I mean? So
Okay. So yeah, check those out. Also check out the Movie Hero Network where we both appear, and we will be there this Thursday doing the Lonelies. Coming back with our awards. I'm very curious because I'm not in charge this time. JPO took reign and said, "Send me your lists." So I don't even know, even though I'm the host. I'm not the host. We're all the hosts. We all just kind of pitch in. Um, wow. How long have they been working on that they've been okay. All right, well I know what I'm doing once the show's over. But yeah, no, Thursday, Lonely Marks. Saturday, you can check us both out on Rankum where we will talk about our top 12 movies of the year. I've kind of spoiled a few that will be there. I haven't spoiled where. But then also Austin Pez Howell and I will be going live after that at some point to talk about just the year 2023 in general. We'll be talking about some movies that we liked, some of our favorite first time watches from previous years, and then we even do a little Steelbook show off. So that is what is coming up. Tomorrow, right here, um, we'll be talking some animation. So if you are a fan of animation, tune in tomorrow, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, uh, to hear that discussion. It should be a fun one. So for JPO, I am Jacob, and we will see you next time.
let's